The Void Command had spoken, and 6,000 civilizations bent their knees. The message had arrived simultaneously across every inhabited system in the galaxy, a transmission that bypassed every encryption, every firewall, every defensive protocol ever devised. It appeared on screens and neural implants, even in the dreams of telepathic species. The Arbiters had returned after 10,000 years of silence, and their decree was absolute. All sentient species would submit to the collective. Resistance would mean extinction. Within hours, the great powers of the galaxy had surrendered. The Zeth Empire, whose armadas had conquered 200 worlds, transmitted their acceptance. The crystalline Vol Concordat, whose technology was so advanced they manipulated space-time itself, agreed without hesitation. The ancient Krell, who had existed before most stars were born, bowed their heads in acknowledgement. Everyone obeyed. Everyone except Earth. Commander Lisa Reeves stood on the bridge of the UHSS Defiance, watching the tactical display with calculating eyes. Around her, the crew worked in focused silence, their movements precise despite the tension that hung in the air like static electricity. "Status report," she said, her voice calm. "All defense grids active." "Commander," her tactical officer responded. "Fleet positions holding at designated coordinates. Mars batteries at full charge. Luna station reports ready." Jackson Park, her first officer and the best strategist humanity had produced in 3 generations, stepped up beside her. His dark eyes reflected the holographic display, watching the sensor data streaming in from across the solar system. "They're not bluffing, Lisa," he said quietly. 63 species have already transmitted compliance in the last 4 hours. The Arbiters destroyed the Phoenix homeworld 20 minutes ago. 3 billion casualties just for asking questions about the terms. Lisa's jaw tightened. "I know. Every major power has surrendered. We're alone in this." "I know that too." Jackson turned to face her fully. "Then why are we doing this? Why are we the only ones saying no?" Lisa met his gaze steadily. "Because someone has to." Before Jackson could respond, the communications officer called out, "Commander, incoming transmission. It's them." The Arbiters, on screen. The main display shimmered and a being of pure geometric light appeared, a form that hurt to look at directly, as if it existed partially outside normal space-time. When it spoke, its voice resonated in frequencies that made the bulkheads vibrate. "Humans of Earth, you have not transmitted your compliance. This is your final opportunity. Submit to the collective or face annihilation." Lisa stepped forward, her reflection ghostly in the holographic display. "We've reviewed your terms. They're unacceptable." A wave of something, surprise perhaps, though it was impossible to read such an alien consciousness, rippled through the entity. "Unacceptable? You are a species barely 3 centuries into spaceflight. Your population spans a mere 8 worlds. You have witnessed what befalls those who refuse." "We have," Lisa acknowledged. "We've also done our homework on you." Jackson glanced at her sharply but remained silent. They'd discussed this, argued about it even, but in the end he'd trusted her instinct. Homework? The Arbiter's form pulsed with what might have been amusement. "Your collective has appeared 3 times in galactic history," Lisa continued. "Each time during a period of peak civilization development. Each time you arrive with the same message, submit or die. And every time every single species obeys." She paused. "That's not conquest. That's farming." The bridge fell absolutely silent. "You're not enforcers of some cosmic law," Lisa pressed on. "You're harvesters. You wait until civilizations are advanced enough, ripe enough, and then you collect. But you need compliance. You need us to submit willingly. That's why you make the threat first, because if you could simply destroy us, you already would have." The Arbiter's form shifted, became somehow denser, more present. "You are perceptive, but incorrect in your conclusion. We can destroy you." "Maybe," Jackson interjected, stepping up beside Lisa. "But you won't, because we figured out what you're really afraid of." "And what is that, human?" Lisa smiled thinly. "Contamination. You're not afraid of our weapons or our fleets. You're afraid of our ideas. Every species that submitted did so because they were rational. They calculated the odds and chose survival." "But humans?" She laughed, and it echoed strangely in the vast chamber. "We're not always rational. We're stubborn. We're defiant. We have this bizarre tendency to fight losing battles just to prove we can. And if our defiance becomes public knowledge," Jackson continued, If the galaxy sees that someone said no to you and survived even briefly, your entire system collapses. The collective is built on absolute submission. One crack in that foundation, and 6,000 civilizations start asking questions, Lisa finished. The silence stretched for long seconds. The Arbiter's form flickered, becoming momentarily unstable. Finally, it spoke. You would risk your entire species on this gamble? It's not a gamble when you're right, Lisa said. You're going to leave now, and you're going to leave us alone. Because we're the one variable you can't control, the one species irrational enough to burn down the galaxy just to watch you lose. Another long pause. Then impossibly the Arbiter's form began to fade. This is not over, humans. We will return. We'll be waiting, Jackson said. The transmission ended. For a moment, nobody on the bridge moved. Then the sensors confirmed it. The Arbiter vessels were withdrawing from Earth space, their massive forms vanishing into dimensional folds. Jackson exhaled slowly. We just bluffed a godlike alien intelligence. No, Lisa corrected, watching the last signatures disappear. We told them the truth. We're humans. We don't know when to quit. She turned to her crew, seeing the mixture of relief and disbelief on their faces. And that's exactly what makes us dangerous. Across the galaxy, on 6,000 worlds, beings looked up at their skies and wondered, who were these humans who had said no when everyone else had obeyed? And in that wondering, the collective's perfect order began, just barely, to crack.